InfinityBreyers here, and in today's video we are going to be taking Infinity's guide to stall guard making. I am so excited about this one. So today I'll be showing y'all how to make two different variations, a chain stall guard and then a fabric stall guard. So let's go ahead and check out the materials we're gonna need. We are going to be needing lobster clasps. So for the chain stall guard, you're only gonna need 2, but for the fabric one, you are going to need 4. Okay, next up you are going to be needing 2 small jump rings for the chain stall guard, and then 4 bigger jump rings. You can tell there's a pretty good size difference for the fabric stall guard. For the chain stall guard, you are going to be needing a piece of chain and then also a piece of craft foam. I choose to use the glittery one just because it's a lot of fun. For the fabric stall guard, you are going to be needing a piece of fabric. I choose to use cotton fabric just because it's not like super stretchy, and this one has glitter in it. And it's got planets, which is space, and it's just so adorable. Oh my goodness. Also, you are going to be needing ribbon. I choose to use the gross grain ribbon because it looks just so much nicer, and also the satin ribbon does not give it a very nice look. This is going to be the 1/8 thickness, a little bit more on the tool side. You are going to be needing a marker and then also a ruler, and then you're going to be needing scissors, wire cutters, and pliers. And lastly, you are going to be needing a hot glue gun and some hot glue sticks. To start off, we are going to be making the chain stall guard first, so go ahead and grab your chain, 2 lobster clasps, your 2 small jump rings, and also your craft foam. Let's dive in. All of the traditional Breyer horse barn doors are going to be 5 inches long, so I try to keep my stall guards around that. But for the chain stall guard, we are going to be measuring how long we want the chain, so just go ahead and lay that out on your ruler. Make sure the chain doesn't have like any lumps in it and that it's just like a straight line. I like to measure it to about 4.5 to 4 3/4 of an inch, just kind of like in the middle of there. You can pick one or the other. I just try to go for the middle. Once you have that, go ahead and just cut that off, and then you're going to have the length of chain that you want. Next up, you are going to be taking your jump rings and then wiggling them open so you can tell that you have the little opening right there. You are going to be taking your lobster clasp and you're going to be putting it on the jump ring like so, and then once you have it on the jump ring, you are going to be taking the chain and threading one end of the chain through the jump ring, and then you're going to be taking your pliers and closing the jump ring so nothing falls off of it, so that you have something that resembles this, and then you're going to be repeating this on the other side. Okay, so this is what you should have so far. You've got your chain attached to lobster clasps through a jump ring. Next up, we are going to be needing our foam, so go ahead and grab that and then turn that onto the side that doesn't have glitter. If you are using the glitter side, you are going to be needing your marker and also your ruler, so I'm going to go ahead and slide that off. We want our foam to be about 3 inches long, so just go ahead and line that up with the edge, and then that's 3 inches right there, so just make your mark. You don't need a super giant piece. I'm only gonna make it that big. It's probably like 2 inches down, so not big at all. So go ahead and take your scissors and cut that out. Next up, you are going to be needing your ruler again, and then since this is 3 inches, you're going to be putting it in between the 1 and the 4 on the ruler so that you can have that in the center of your chain. Go ahead and grab your chain and then lay it out to where the jump rings are kind of in the same spot on each side, and then you're going to be placing glue on the inside of the foam. I normally do a pretty good amount just because when you fold it over, you want to make sure that the chain is in the glue so it doesn't slide out. Go ahead and fold over your foam and then squish it down. Be sure to watch your fingers on this part because the glue does come out a little bit and you don't want to burn yourself because that doesn't feel good. This is what you have so far, and then we are going to be taking our scissors and carefully cutting. You don't want to cut too much off because then you'll cut into the chain, and then you're just going to go ahead and cut the foam off, trying to keep it equal on both sides. So you have something that looks like this, and this is going to be your chain stall guard. Oh, and if y'all want a reference, this is kind of how big it is in front of Twix. Okay, so next up we are going to be making the fabric stall guard, so go ahead and grab all of your materials for that. You should have 4 big jump rings, 4 lobster clasps, your ribbon, your fabric, a marker, your wire cutters and pliers, your ruler, your scissors, and then also the hot glue gun, which couldn't make it into this picture because the cord is too short. So first off, we are going to be starting off off with the fabric. We're gonna turn it onto the ugly side so there is no glitter on the side, and we're going to be measuring it. I went ahead and I already cut a cleaner edge just because I want to use this planet as the main focus of the stall guards. So how I make these stall guards is I make them 4 inches long and then 2.5 inches tall. So we want to go ahead and measure for that. So if I want to keep the planet in the main focus, I'm going to kind of put it in the middle of the stall guard, and then I'm going to take my marker and then just mark along the edge. You want it to be 4 inches long, and then once you have that, you can kind of see my marks. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out so I don't get mixed up in the process of doing the height in a second. This is what you should have so far. We are still working on the ugly side, and then you're going to be taking your ruler again because we want this to be 2.5 inches tall. I'm going to be setting that at the bottom, so the half mark for the 2 inches is at the bottom, and then I'm just gonna mark along the top as I go until I get at least 2 marks, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out. Okay, so this is what you should have so far. This is the pretty side, this is the ugly side because it's got marks on it. Next up, you are going to be needing your ribbon, and with your ribbon, you're going to be cutting 3 long strips for the horizontal part for the fabric, and then 3 smaller strips for the vertical part. It should look something similar to this. Next up, you are going to be needing to thread your lobster clasps through the jump rings before we move on to the next part, so let's go ahead and do that. Just a quick, super simple reminder, you just find the opening of the jump ring, take your wire cutters, wiggle it open, take your lobster clasp, thread that onto the jump ring, and then give it a nice little squeeze close with your pliers so that the jump ring does not come off. And then that's what you do for all 4 of these. Once you have all 4 of these made, we are going to be pulling off all of the ribbon except for these 2, because these are the ones that you're actually going to be gluing these on with. So what you're gonna want to do first is I tend to start off at the bottom and then work my way to the top. So you're going to be taking your hot glue gun, pulling off the ribbon, and then just lightly putting a small little line of hot glue at the bottom, just like so it doesn't spread that much when you apply the ribbon on top. You want to make sure that the ribbon stays flush with the bottom so that there's no fabric sticking out. So here's just a little close-up of that. As you can tell, there's no fabric sticking out at the bottom, so it should look like this. Next up, you are going to be taking your jump ring, and then you're going to be sliding that through and then folding this part over so that it's on the ugly side. I tend to trim the tabs so that there's not that much hanging off. So you should have a little folded tab on the ugly side over here. What you're going to be doing is applying glue to this part. So once you've got your glue on there, you just fold it over, and then you've got something that looks a little something like this. And then you repeat this on this side. And then once you're done with that, you should have something that looks like this, and you're going to be repeating these steps for the top. Once you finish replicating the bottom onto the top, from here we're going to be taking 2 of the smaller pieces, and then we are going to be gluing them along the sides, kind of like so. You don't want the fabric to be showing, and then you're also going to want to glue the edges over. So I'll give y'all a little demonstration. You're going to put a small amount of glue along the edge. This is what you have right now, and then you are going to be folding the edges over with glue onto the ugly side so that you have something that looks just like this. And then once you have that, you are going to be repeating that onto this side. Your stall guard should look something kind of like this so far. It's just like a little frame. Next, we are going to be doing the vertical middle piece. So for that, you are going to be needing your ruler and your marker. You will be marking on the pretty side for this, but that's because you're going to be covering it with a piece of ribbon. So be sure that you don't make a huge mark. You're going to be lining up your stall guard. It should be 4 inches long. So you're going to be marking on the 2-inch mark. And then once you have your marks, you're going to be taking your ribbon and gluing that down the middle. So for this, I'm actually going to be putting the glue on the ribbon just to make it easier to line up. And then once you've got your glue on your ribbon, you're just gonna go ahead and lay that down, making sure that it does look straight, and then press it down. From there, you're going to be cutting little tabs that you can glue and fold over onto the other side. So now that we have the vertical middle piece, we do need the horizontal middle piece. So you are going to be needing your ruler again. This part is 2.5 inches. So you want it to be 1 1/4 of an inch. That's going to be the middle. So you're just gonna go ahead and make 2 little marks. I make them on both sides just so that it's super easy to get it in the middle. Then you're going to be needing your longer piece. You're gonna put some glue on that. And then once you've got your glue, you're going to be laying that onto your fabric, making sure that this is even. And then you're going to glue your tabs down. And then ta-da! You have a finished fabric stall guard. So this is what it looks like on the front, and then on the back you just have all of your tabs and then the ugly, nasty side of the fabric. But it is super cute up front. Just a really quick note about the lobster clasps. They can face this way or they can face this way. You just want them all to face the same direction so that you don't have some like weird little twisted look going on with this. So it doesn't really matter which way your lobster clasps face, you just want them to face all the same way. And then a super fast comparison to Twix. This is basically how big it is going to be. Alright y'all, so it's actually going to be the end of the YouTube video today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed. And if you did, please remember to slap the like button as hard as you possibly can to show this YouTube video a little bit of love. Also, if you're feeling exotic, please don't forget to check out my Instagram account, which is at @infinity_Breyers. I post on there daily and I'm super active on there. Also, if y'all take time to do any of these creations, I would really love to see them on either Instagram or Amino or Facebook or YouTube. Just feel free to tag me and I would love to see what y'all have made using my tutorials. There are going to be more in the future, but I did want to make the announcement of I will not be making a how to make a blanket tutorial for the sole purpose of it's not exactly something that I find easy to explain, and also the tutorial itself would be about 1 to 2 hours long, so it's just not really worth it. But I will be making tutorials on smaller things. I'm going to be doing a barn accessories one soon, so keep your eyes out for that. And other than that, y'all, I'll see you in my next YouTube video.